Hello everyone, welcome back to another video, and this one we are testing the GeForce RTX 3070 Ti in Assassin's Creed Shadows, and special thanks to Ubisoft for providing me access to this game early. And here are the specs of the GPU. We are using the Asus ROG Strix model of the card. We have the latest NVIDIA driver 572.83, which is the game ready driver for Assassin's Creed Shadows. We have the 8 gigs of VRAM, GDDR6X from Micron, and we have resizable bar also enabled inside BIOS. Over here in Task Manager, we have the Intel Core i7-13700K CPU as always. For memory, we have 64 gigabytes of DDR5, 6000 megatransfers per second, CL36, and finally for MSI Afterburner, no overclocks applied. Everything is set to stock settings. So let's jump into the game and check out the frame rates. We are here inside the menu, guys. We're gonna check the settings out first. We are gonna start it with 1080p resolution, and we are using DLAA. This game has upscaler DLAA, DLSS FSR, and XeSS DLSS. I have manually overridden from the NVIDIA app, which is DLSS 4. This game also supports multi-frame generation for 50 series cards, and we are using DLAS, and frame generation is off. Also has FSR frame generation, by the way. Motion blur, chromatic aberration, you can turn that off as well. And everything else is maxed out right now, and in this game you cannot completely turn off ray tracing. You can lower those settings like this, and the BBH quality, and also the ray trace global illumination. You can make it hideout only, but you cannot turn them off completely, which is kind of disappointing. I get it. And everything else is pretty much set to their maximum settings, and this is the only setting which doesn't change with the preset change. So this is terrain quality. I've manually set it to ultra high, and everything else, as you can see. And we also have the VRAM bar in the settings. We are very close to maxing out our 8 gigs of VRAM. So here it is, everything maxed out at 1080p, guys. And we are barely sitting above 30 and below 40. But yeah, this game looks really great at 1080p resolution. Also doesn't look bloody like other games out there. It is pretty beautiful. And as I've been saying in my previous video and my live stream also, the game barely stutters at times. Even during combat, you won't notice any stuttering. Not major stutters are there. It is pretty good in my opinion. The optimization, and obviously the visuals are also good looking. The greenery, the trees, and vegetation, they're pretty cool. So this is the hideout area of the game. As you can see, we cannot perform our actions here, so I need to get out of here and roam around a bit. And so yeah, the 3070 Ti, you cannot max out this game at 1080p and get 60 FPS. It's gonna be a bit of a struggle. Maybe with the high settings we can. Hello. I'm gonna call my mount. And the shadows, the reflections, everything is ray traced in this game. You cannot turn off RT, as I said. Look at that hair of my character. I really like that. I think it's a big jump in graphics for this franchise, in my opinion. It looks way better than Valhalla and AC Mirage. Oh my goodness. Inside this forest, we are dropping into 24. Cinematic experience there. And look at our CPU usage. It's not so demanding on the CPU, this game. Even at 1080p you can see. But as long as the game doesn't stutter, I can still play it with like 40 FPS. But we are not even getting 40 FPS currently. Look at the beauty of this game. The landscapes, the draw distance especially, I keep on saying, it's just phenomenal. Now with the max settings, I'm going to enable quality DLSS at 1080p resolution, no frame generation. We are on 30 series, so we cannot use DLSS FG. We have to use FSR Frame Generation. And now we jumped up to above 40, but I think we will still drop to like 30 FPS when there's gonna be a lot of trees and vegetation. I don't doubt that. We're already dropping into 30, high 30s. I'm totally enjoying the beauty of this game. And yeah, with quality DLSS, it looks way softer. Obviously, this is 1080p, and there is a bit of ghosting there, which I can notice. But it is reduced with the help of DLSS 4, and I'm on the latest driver as well for this game. Make sure you update your drivers, so otherwise you cannot override it to DLSS 4 using the NVIDIA app. It won't allow you to do so. And the 1% low, 37, as you can see, quite good. 44 average. It is quite playable like this, I would say. Now, we can also utilize FSR Frame Generation, so we're gonna try that as well with maximum graphic settings. And the settings are all maxed out, including ray tracing. And wow, this is quite smooth even with FSR Frame Generation, I would say. I really like it. I didn't expect to be this smooth. And input latency, as I said earlier, if it drops below 80 the FPS, you will get to feel it. Even with a controller, you might be able to feel it. Like when it's below 80, that's when you can actually feel it. But above 80, it's still fine. It's manageable, negligible with a controller. But I can recommend this actually with FSR Frame Generation for a game like this, slow paced, not too crazy. Amazing. Let me get in there and climb that structure over there, castle, and show you the view. There's a viewpoint up there. There's some slight stuttering going on right now. Oh, why did he get scared? I'm gonna climb that structure if I can. Osaka Castle. I don't think we can.
I have to stay low.
We can't grapple even. And now I'm stuck in this canal. It's actually a barrier, water barrier. Our VRAM allocation is maxed out. Usage is obviously close to 8. Recline, yes. I really like the grappling hook they have added in this game. It's quite nice to have it. What I will do now is lower the overall graphics preset to like very high. And I'm gonna set ray tracing settings to their lowest manually. So this is gonna be with very high preset, but with RT set to their lowest, and no DLSS, no frame gen. So we just restarted the game, and as you can see, we're still inside this castle area. And this time this guy is not over here, which is good for me. Let's mark everyone up real quick. These things, yellow ones. I need to climb that castle. Barely made it out from there. Let's climb this castle quickly. And by the way, my game is set to 100 FOV, that's the default. How do I synchronize this? Okay. Getting average of 61, it's pretty much gonna drop as we go down, I'm guessing. That's a beautiful landscape overall. Okay, now we need to make it out alive from here. Let's make the leap of faith. He didn't even hear us. Oh, that's a nice hat. Fancy. So yeah, guys, 58 average is gonna drop here in the settlement area, and inside the forest, it's gonna drop even more. So the average is gonna go down for sure. I'm gonna also try this with the high preset settings and leave everything else to high except ray tracing. I'm gonna set them to low and apply this. And still we cannot achieve 60 FPS even with high settings at native 1080p. Such a struggle. And I expect it's gonna again drop to like 40s, high 40s in the bushes and trees. Yeah, it is already dropping there, 48. I call my horse and have a little stroll around the area. Yeah, it's dropping to high 40s there. It's gonna be evening now. So yeah, guys, it's very unfortunate. Your 3070 Ti can't really get 60 plus, not even 50 plus all the time, without help of DLSS or FG. So this is another game which has been made with DLSS and FSR in mind. I mean, frame generation and upscaling in mind. But at least it doesn't stutter. That is the good part. And now I'll further drop the settings to medium preset, and ray tracing is set to low by default when using medium. And let's apply this. Finally, 60. Wow, even in this settlement it drops below 60. What is going on? Even with medium preset we cannot get 60. That is a real struggle. Maybe it is just in this city area, or this town area. Once we get out of here, it will probably go up. It should. Okay, finally we can actually run with our horse. And we are touching that 60, but it's not staying above 60 all the time. Once again, you might be averaging around 60, but not really get 60 FPS all the time. Then outside, as you can see, it's not giving us 60 plus, even with medium preset. How unbelievable. But still, the game doesn't stutter. That's what I love it. I keep on saying that because I'm tired of testing games with stutters like crazy all the time. No matter what res, no matter what settings you choose, they're gonna stutter like Monster Hunter. That was next level. There's more like Stalker 2, Spider-Man 2, let's not forget that. And with the medium preset, I have enabled FSR Frame Generation, and we're using DLAA on top of that. So let's check this out real quick. And we're getting 100 FPS, great. Which means it's gonna be very smooth in terms of the latency. When you play with the controller, shouldn't be a problem. And you get a smoothness of 100 frames in the visual quality. So you can play this way if you want to utilize FSR Frame Generation. At least AMD is keeping these older GPUs alive with their frame gen. Thanks to them, Nvidia won't do it. They're killing their own products to sell their new GPUs, and no one wants to buy them. It looks beautiful, right? Even in medium, the game looks quite good. That's why there is not a huge drop. I mean, not a huge increase in terms of FPS. And yeah, with the mouse also, I cannot really notice that much of a delay. It is there, but it is something negligible. Okay, guys, up next for 1440p resolution, we're gonna use TAA, not DLA. We need the 2 extra FPS we get with using TAA native, and no frame generation for now. And I am using the lowest overall preset, the low preset, not the low, not the lowest. And ray tracing is set to low, and everything else is pretty much low and off. So this is gonna be a real struggle to test this game at 1440p and 4K. I don't know what settings we can even use other than low. And even at low, it looks quite good. Obviously, there's a lot of low-res textures now, as you can see in the graphs. It's not any more detailed, but it still looks good in terms of low. It's still good, I would say. And in the hideout, it is going around 58, 55. Come on, should have been at least 60 with low. We'll have to use DLSS Qlty. But the thing with this game is, when you use upscaling, you don't get that much of a boost. So here we are outside the hideout, and everything still looks good. And the water kind of looks bad now on low. But it is what it is. And the game still runs absolutely fine, smooth like butter. Maybe if you OC the card a little bit, you can get 60 plus average FPS. At least the character detailing is still good in low. But let's try with some upscaling and FG. We are even touching 40 there. We'll be trying this with DLSS Qlty now. Let's see if we can get any improvement with the low preset. Alright, so now we are touching 80, 70 plus, which is great. So with the help of upscaling, you can get 60 at least. I mean, at 1440p, using upscaling, it looks way better than 1080p native, in my opinion. I keep on saying that to everyone. If you have a 1080p panel, use NVIDIA DSR and make it 1440p. Your image is gonna look way better than native 1080p. Oh, hello. I really like the wildlife in this game. They got even baby animals in it.
I'll see.
Raw distance is still great. Even with the low settings, it's not bad. 76 average FPS. And I don't think we will drop below 70 that much with these settings. It might touch the high 60s at times. And look at our VRAM usage, it's just sitting at 4 gigs, allocated 5. Pretty nice. This game is not that intense in terms of VRAM usage. We have already seen that with the 4070 Ti Super. Maxing it out at 4K still does a great job. On top of quality DLSS, I'm gonna utilize FSR Frame Generation as well. And we are using the low settings. As I said, everything is low or turned off. And 120, wow, that's a huge jump with frame gen. And now you can get 120 FPS, or at least close to that most of the time. And obviously I cannot notice any input latency there. It's pretty good. VRAM has gone up slightly, not too much, even with frame gen enabled. I'm scared of these guys. Not gonna attempt to fight. And I would play like this if I had a 1440p monitor or a 1080p monitor. I would utilize DSR. But the problem is that you have to use low settings. But that's the thing, right? 3070 Ti. It's pretty old. It's like 5 years now for this GPU, I guess. It's been. but at least it should have been able to run it at medium settings. Would have been nice still at 1440. You have just seen the 1080p, what's happening there, so forget about 1440p. I'll still try this with the medium settings, see what happens. And let me know, guys, how much FPS you are getting with your system, and what do you think about this game? What do you think about the visual quality? Now I'm gonna try this with the medium quality preset, and ray tracing is set to low, and everything is mix of low and medium by default, whatever the game sets it to. And we're gonna use DLSS Qlty, otherwise we can't get 60 FPS or even close to that. And frame generation is turned off. Here we go. Up here, it's not that demanding in this area. We're getting easily, we are getting 60 plus, even 70 plus. I need to go back to my hideout to check it out. I will load that save. I have it saved there manually. And it's not that different, medium preset from low. They look very identical. There's definitely improvement, but can't really notice it. Yeah, the texture quality definitely has improved, but many settings are still set to low, as you have seen. And yeah, I think most of the time you can get 60 plus with these settings if you are like in these open areas. But I guess near the hideout or in the settlement areas, it's gonna drop below 60. Let's load our hideout safe and check it out. So here in the hideout area, we are still getting 60, but it is dropping. It's dropping below 60. I told you it's very demanding near the settlement areas where there are a lot of houses and other characters. The FPS does drop. Maybe if you have a better CPU, you might be able to achieve 60 plus, but the CPU is barely being used by this game. And yeah, I think this is quite playable still. And if you enable FSR Frame Generation on top of this, since we are getting 60 plus base FPS most of the time, it should be a good experience with that. Okay, now what if we increase the graphics preset to like, let's say very high, and I will turn off ray tracing, not off, but set them to low. Let's apply that. So we still have DLSS Qlty enabled, but this is with very high settings, but with ray tracing set to low. And now I get it why it drops FPS in this area in the hideout, because of the ray traced global illumination. You can't really turn it off completely, but you can set it off to hideout only. That's why it drops so much in the hideout more than the other areas of the game. I just now realized that. That's the thing with the low performance in the hideout. So let's get out of here, and the FPS should increase. And we have left the hideout now, and still almost the same. But yeah, with very high settings, this is way better now. Looking gorgeous once again, and we are touching that 60 FPS mark. And we can utilize, I guess, DLSS performance also. But since this is DLSS 4, you won't be noticing that much of a downgrade in terms of visual if you use quality performance DLSS. So I'm gonna stand here and look at the FPS. We're getting like 59, 60, and I'm gonna change it to performance DLSS. So let's quickly change this to performance DLSS, even though this is like 1440p, no frame generation, and we are using the very high preset with low ray tracing settings. These are the settings. So as you can see, we won't gain much of an FPS boost there. We get like 5, 6, that's it. But that's what all we need to stay above 60 most of the time.
This is the Daikan's card.
And then DLSS 4 does an amazing job. I still feel like this is native 1440p. There's absolutely no visual degradation, but yeah, obviously there is at the distance, but there's a lot of fog already right now. I can't really tell. But this looks very close to native, I mean. It's not bad by any means. I can play it this way if I had the 3070 Ti. What was that? What was that noise? Yeah, I would play it this way. I won't have an issue with performance DLSS. I hated performance DLSS back with DLSS 3. I didn't really like it at 1440p, but now with DLSS 4, it does an amazing job. And yeah, it does drop below 60, as you can see, when there is a lot of trees around you. And finally, for 4K resolution, I don't know why am I doing this, but we're gonna use DLAA, no FSR for now, and everything is set to the lowest preset settings. And I'm gonna still show you some of the settings are turned off, like hair strand is. And we are in the hideout area right now, and that's why the FPS is a little bit less than it's supposed to be because of the ray trace global illumination which is present here. We cannot turn it off, and we are dropping into 20s right now. And once again, I would like to say that this game has been given to me by Ubisoft. Thanks to them for providing me access to this. And so look at that, still looks great even at low 4K. Very crystal clear everything looks. But yeah, it's unplayable like this. Let's get out and check out the FPS real quick as well from the hideout. Because we have ray tracing out here. Even in there we have RT set to low. The reflection shadows are still there present. And it's gonna be a pretty much a normal moving forward. You have to accept it. We can't do anything. That ray tracing is gonna be always on. You won't be able to turn it off sooner or later in most games. That is very sad, but it is what it is. And look at that. We're getting 40 now. From 20s, high 20s, we have jumped up to 40 just by leaving the hideout area. It's only because of the ray traced global illumination in the hideout. That's why our FPS drops a lot more than it should. And maybe if we use DLSS performance, we can go close to 60 FPS, but I'm pretty sure we won't get 60 even with that. And I don't know how many of you are gonna be playing this game at 4K with this GPU. If you do let me know. Okay guys, before I switch it to performance DLSS, I also wanted to have a look at quality DLSS, see if we can get around 60 FPS with the help of it. And everything else is set to low settings preset, and including ray tracing as well. I'm not even gonna try increasing ray tracing at 4K. And wow, I didn't really expect it. Like, we are getting around mid-50s with quality DLSS. I thought we were gonna get around 50 FPS with these quality DLSS, but we are getting close to that 60 FPS, which is quite good. So that means with performance DLSS, we should be sticking above 60 FPS all the time, or most of the time. But this is quite nice. And if you enable frame generation on top of this, I think it should be a good experience overall. I'm gonna quickly enable FSR Frame Gen, see how it is at 4K. So yeah, with FSR Frame Gen enabled, we're getting that 80 plus, exactly what I wanted. So we cannot really feel the input latency when playing with the controller. It is sticking around 80. It is gonna drop to 70s at times for sure. But nonetheless, quite a good experience. Can't really feel any delay. There is a bit of delay, but it's kind of negligible with the controller. You might be able to feel it with the mouse, you know. And also overall, the quality looks great. No problem whatsoever at 4K low settings. It looks quite good. Now it's time to switch DLSS to performance, and I'm gonna turn off frame generation as well. And we are still using the lowest settings. I don't think I need to increase it any further. We can even pet him. The little kitten.
You're so
They
soft.
actually have baby animals in this game. That is so nice to have. You can even take photo while in this. Perfect. Hello, kitty. Kitty, kitty, kitty. Oh, so cute. Oh, that's our mother there. You can pet each one of them. And there's another black one, gray black. We are getting 60 plus, as you can see, with DLSS set to performance, which is pretty good. And all of these fruits and vegetables, they look quite good even at low settings. Not bad. So yeah, guys, with performance DLSS, the image quality is still quite good because this is DLSS 4. And look at our VRAM allocation is close to 7 gigs. Usage is around 5. Not a big deal. Shouldn't be a problem as long as you run low settings. For the final setting I'm doing is medium preset. This is with DLSS performance, by the way. And we will obviously stay below 60 because with the low only we were barely staying above 60. But anyways, guys, this is gonna be it for this video. Do leave a like if you enjoyed and if this video helped you, and subscribe if you are new to the channel. And as always, I will catch you on the next one. Till then, take care and bye bye.